Hello everybody, my name is Connor and welcome back to NobleAstaTCG, where I post my games, learn from my misplays, and count on your feedback to grow. Today, we are still playing Green Purple Luffy. I love this deck. I hate to admit how much I enjoy this deck, but this deck has been so fun for me, and I am hoping to continue to get better at it so we can go to Nats. But we are playing in a blue-yellow Nami, and we are playing against the blue-yellow Nami master in my area, if you will. But we are going to start with a search, which is always nice, especially if we don't have a Sanji and Pudding in hand. And we not only have a Sanji and Pudding in hand, but we have our beautiful Alt-Art Sanji and Pudding. So we are sitting pretty good here. Taking stage, really important. I know Nami has a lot of ways to remove 5-cost bodies, so this is going to secure that Sanji and Pudding onto the field, which is really nice. A little sad to bottom deck a Gum Gum Giant, especially after last game where we saw none, but before we get too deep in the game, I do want to remind you guys that if you want to support the channel, you could head to 1000noble.com to grab or commission a playmat. You could join the YouTube membership. And of course, if you're looking for TCG accessories, you can go to duelingguard.com/Clover Crew and pick up anything on their website and get a nice 15% off code to support the channel. But back into the video here, we do go ahead and swing a big 7 at Nami, and she does end up countering out. We end up taking the hit and getting the when you're at sea you fight against pirates, trying to find what we want, and we kind of don't have a lot of counter in hand, so we are going to go ahead and take the 2k. As I said, take the shiniest card in the search. That is the 2k in that Sanji there. Leader ability is going to go off for Nami, allowing him to draw another card, and we are going to draw into another stage, which is pretty nice here. So 5 Dawn turn, the easiest turn of my life. We are going to go ahead, tap 5 to play Sanji and Pudding. We are currently at equal Dawn, so no drawing off the Sanji and Pudding. But we are going to go ahead, restand 2, get 1 Dawn active. Activate stage now that we are at equal or less Dawn, so we can buff the cost of the Sanji and Pudding to make sure it stays on the field. Someone like Nojiko or Zeus is not going to be able to take out our Sanji and Pudding, which is great because we really need Sanji and Pudding in this deck. It is very consistent in this deck, and yeah, with that, we are going to go ahead and play another stage just to draw another card, see what we get. Get a Gum Gum Giant. We'll buff Sanji and Pudding again. Now she's super not going anywhere, which is great. We love that. We love when Sanji and Pudding stays on the field. Since leader ability for Nami brings her up to 7, we are going to go ahead and swing that 7. And of course, we did see the Hiyori come down, so Kikinojo comes out of the life here, and that is a little unfortunate because it is a 6k body, so it is going to be hitting our face without any extra Dawn investment, and getting that on the field is pretty good here. So we do have a Dawn up. Of course, I'm not looking to Gum Gum Giant this early in the game, but if we need to, we need to, but I don't think we need to. We should be okay to potentially counter out of a hit or take a hit. I usually like to take until I'm at 2 life, and then start thinking about countering out, but with all that Dawn up, I'm not 100% sure what my opponent will do, so I do go ahead and just give an easy 2k, assuming I'm going to take whatever hit Nami does, which is another 6, and I could give him another 2k just to stay healthy, but I'll take another when you're at sea you fight against pirates. Pretty crazy. We're going to take a Gum Gum Giant. Seeing 2 in a search, kind of unfortunate. We bottom deck 2 Gum Gum Giants, and we do have 2 in our hand, so of course it is a little tricky because of the fact that my opponent does have access to Pudding, which is something that I don't play around very well in this game, I don't think, but I'm gonna go ahead and play out the Momonosuke to put that Kikinojo back at the top of life. Really strong move from my opponent. I really enjoy the Wano package that Nami has been running. The Odins are terrifying. The Kikinojo, just being able to bring Kikinojo out of life and then put her right back into life is great. Even Vi agrees. I don't know if you guys can hear her crying at me. But the Sanji and Pudding is going to allow us to draw. We draw into the, the Nami Searcher, I believe. I'm still trying to remember how to function. No, that is Demon Aura. My bad. Not even close. I knew it was a green card at least, but leader ability, gonna -2, restand 2, get 2 back as active. Look at that gold buggy Don. So nice. And thinking about potentially playing down the Zoro Juro, maybe even playing the blocker Zoro. But I think Zoro Juro might be a better play here. And it leaves us some Dawn. We can swing the 7 with lead. I think we should swing, 7 with Sanji and Pudding. I think we should swing 6, try and get that leader ability out, and then swing 7 with lead. Or with Sanji and Pudding. I can't focus today. I think that would be our best way. Because, of course, if we swing the 7 first and they leader ability, that's kind of, then we can't really swing. But yeah, we do swing the 6. Of course, getting the Kikinojo back out of life, and I was kind of debating on, do I swing? I don't know if I want to swing. We'll swing the 7 there, getting the Odin, and then 1k in the Pudding, so 1 Pudding down, Zoro Juro coming down, looking at the top 5. We could grab a purple card, and we are going to go ahead, bottom deck some counter, but a lot of bricks in that, and grab another Sanji and Pudding. We'll go ahead and pass here. I guess one thing is, if we do get Puddinged, our hand is not great. It's not terrible. I definitely feel like I've had worse hands, but it's not great. So I think that I think that if we do get Pudding, we'll be okay, ideally. Depending on what we draw into. But we do have at least a 6k, and then potentially Momonosuke can swing at us as well, and that would be pretty unfortunate. So trying to decide what we want to do. I think honestly my opponent and I were having a pretty good time during this game, just chilling and vibing and playing some One Piece. It was really fun, which is nice. After that Shanks game, well, my opponent is the GOAT in that Shanks game. It felt bad, man. I felt rough, and he did point out actually that I misplayed pretty good, but I think I just get flustered when I play from behind. And I feel like when you don't have a perfect start and your opponent has a perfect start, definitely a good reason to get flustered. But I do see 4 Dons separated over there, wondering if there is going to be a Pudding play coming out. I think we were just kind of discussing the One Piece and all that good stuff, and taking a trip to Nats and how that goes. But yep, there is a beautiful SP Pudding, by the way. Such a nice card. I did pull one, but I sold it because I looked at it and I said, this is too pretty to go in any of my decks. Perfectly content with the winter Puddings. So shuffling my hand there, and look at that. It looks like I'm doing a decent job shuffling. I say decent, but we're getting the bottom, we're getting the middle. We're trying our best here, okay? Especially with the oversleeves. Look, I got little hands, guys, okay? I'm sorry. But you know what they say about little hands? Big heart or something. I don't know. But gonna go ahead and get Pudding. Unfortunate. This is kind of a scary board to go into. But we are going to be drawing 5 cards and see what we get here. Another Sanji and Pudding. Definitely rough with the 2 6-cost Luffys. That's about one more 6-cost Luffy than I want to see in at all. And the 7k swing coming in feels kind of bad. We just have a Demon Aura too. So we are going to go ahead and take that. Getting a Nami, it's a nice 1k, which we are low on counter in this hand. Another 7k. And I don't think I really want to go to no life here. So as bad as it feels, I am going to go ahead and play the Demon Aura to get out of the attack. That gets me to 9, excuse me. And then the Momonosuke is going to swing, and really unfortunate. I'm feeling pretty bad at this moment. I have to take that. I don't have the counter. And then we get the Nami trigger. I remember to trigger it out. Look at me go. Looking at the top 5, I think 0 cost is probably our best bet here. We are really bricked up. No counter. Getting the beautiful altar at 0 cost, which I think this deck actually starts to run the Roger 0 cost next set, or can run the Roger 0 cost. I need to look more at the deck list I was sent, but I just bought that ult and it's so pretty. But I guess it makes sense. It is going to cycle out in a couple of months. How do you guys feel about the block cycling system? I feel like I get it, but also like I'm kind of bummed about it. But we're gonna go ahead, play down the searcher Nami, searching our top 5 for something spicy, and there it is, the Gum Gum Giant, our second lifeblood in this deck, if you will. Now we've got a good amount of counter in hand. Now we have 5 extra Dawn. It is time to play down the Sanji and Pudding. Getting puddinged into another Sanji and Pudding was just so lucky. I can't even express how lucky that is. Of course, we are in a bit of a tough spot here. We don't have any blockers. We have a lot of Dawn that we're going to gain access to with our 3 Sanji and Puddings on the field. But that means we're going to get 3 Dawn back. So we are going to be at a big, I can't even count that high, taking our gold Croc Dawn because, you know, you got to have the shiny cards, okay? And I need 3. I'm missing like 2 foil Croc Dawns for my 6-4 split, and it's very sad. But we're going to go ahead, buff the Sanji and Pudding we just played, buff our leader, of course, and with the extra amount of Dawn we have, we are going to go ahead and try and clear some bodies. As unfortunate as it is that Kikinojo will heal my opponent, I think it's important that we clear bodies in order to stay alive. So it actually does look like I swing into life there, and just trying to see if I can get some cards out of hand or potentially even get some life down. I don't think that was the right call, is to swing into life here. I think I need to be clearing the bodies, and I think I realized this here. It just feels bad to put them back at 4, so trying to decide how I want to swing. I do have 2 Gum Gum Giants, and Nami doesn't have any way to rest the Gum Gum Giants, so I'm gonna go 8 into the Momonosuke blocker. Yep, get that blocker out of here, and then thinking about swinging 7 into Kikinojo, and yeah, I am gonna go ahead, swing 7 into Kikinojo. Of course, as I've said, healing my opponent always feels bad, but you know what feels worse? Getting hit in the face. So we are gonna go ahead, clear that Kikinojo, thankfully, and pass turn. I think potentially I should have cleared board first and then swung into life. I think that might have been better. But I'm not 100% sure. I'm not a master at this game. I'm still learning, and I've been having a really fun time playing this deck consistently. I know it's probably not very exciting for the channel to see the same decks over and over and over, especially when they're top meta decks. So those of you who are sticking around, I really appreciate it. This deck has just been so much fun. But 7 at lead. We are just going to give it a 2k there. Just try and see if we could maybe even whittle our hand size down in case we get puddinged again. Or, yeah, because... oh, this is actually... so 2 Marcos coming through, and we draw into the 4-cost Luffy. I like this 4-cost Luffy. There feels like a very small moment in time to play the 4-cost Luffy, but if you can get it on the field in that time frame, it feels so good. It really throws opponents off and delays their gameplay. I'm only running it at 2, and I think that, as I said, there's such a small window to play it that I feel like that's probably as many as I would play it at. It is nice to have a 1k in my hand at this moment in the game, because I do feel like this deck just has very few 1ks, which, and maybe I just don't see the 1ks, but we are going to go ahead. It looks like we are tapping 6 to go ahead and play down one of our Luffys, it looks like. Let's see. Yep, going to go ahead and play down the Rush Luffy. Definitely don't think I can finish the game here, but I think that the 6-cost Luffy is going to be a good way to put on some pressure. Maybe get him to pop those Marco blockers early, but we'll see. Swinging 7 at lead, we are going to go ahead and take it. Getting another Kikinojo out of life. Definitely pretty scary here, kind of putting us on a bit of a clock almost. Definitely gonna go ahead, a leader ability, become a 6k, and see what we can do here. Getting all our Dawn back, getting some more power. Yeah, down to... he does have a lot of cards in hand. We'll start with a 7 from lead, get the leader ability out, and a 1k in that beautiful alt Basil Hawkins. we'll go ahead and buff one of our Sanji and Puddings. I was just trying to think, is there anything he can do for a 6 cost? If there's anything he could do with a 6 cost, I think it would be something like Beige, and that's, yeah, not great for us. So, trying to decide, we'll go ahead, we'll swing 8 with lead and get a 1k there. Oh, gives us another 1k, there we go. I'm so busy trying to figure out how do I do math that he was able to almost get away with the 1k, although he's not. He's a cool dude. So swing 7, we are gonna go ahead and get the, what are the lives? So it looks like he has 1 card in hand. Now with the 2 Marco blockers, I definitely don't think we can finish the game here. So we're gonna go ahead, swing 8, get a Marco blocker, and he's gonna go ahead draw into 2. And now I'm thinking, okay, do I even swing with my Luffy? Do I keep Luffy standing? Do I swing 8 with Luffy? What exactly? How exactly do I play this? I'm not going to be able to kill him here. But we do have a good amount of counter in our hand. We have 2 giants and a 0 cost. I think we just do potentially... I'm trying to decide, do I do a 7 or an 8? We'll just go ahead and swing a 7. And a Luffy ability, try and get that Marco out. Another 7k at lead. Looks like we are going to get a counter here. Gives us a 2k Yamato. And we're going to go ahead and pass turn with 2 Dawn up. I think it was a little risky to do the Luffy ability. Especially if he does end up having a pudding here. I think that's pretty tough for us, but ends up swinging 6, and we do have the 1k out of it. Another 6 with lead, and I'm gonna go ahead and gum this, trying to get some more counter cards in hand, which realistically a little risky since my opponent can just do this. Yes, 15k with the Nami. We're gonna see if we can get out of it. We are going to go ahead, trash the Luffy there, draw, -2 Dawn, draw 2. Going pretty low on our Dawn, getting 2 1Ks off of that. Really good there, so 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We are at 10. We are going to go ahead, 11, 12, 13, trash the Demon Aura, 14, 15, 16. So if we didn't get any counter off of the Gum Giant, cooked. We would have lost, which... I think, yeah, swinging the 6, or having him swing 6 and then Gum Gianting, kind of rough. I think I should have 0 cost, potentially 0 costed out of that, and then I would have had 2 giants. I would have gone 9, 10, 12, 13, 14. So I guess it might have been a more secure way to get to 14, but yeah, I don't know if that made a difference. I'm not super great at math, so this game not only is hard, but you know, figuring things out like this is hard. My brain is frying. My brain's been frying this entire video. So that is going to do it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys liked this video, hit that like button down below. It helps me out more than you could ever know. Go ahead and subscribe if you are new, and I will see you guys in the next video. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day.
すぐに片付けますのでご安心を。おらー、これじゃあキリがねえ。麦わら